last but not least, I need to mention Santa Zeta. Last week, Erik praised Santa Zeta, said it's one of the best movies of the year, probably being one of his top of the year unless something crazy happens. He gave it a 6.9 stars, which is his highest star rating. I liked the way he described it, and it made me want to go see it. So I would just say this is a little plug. If you don't like my reviews, at least listen to Greg and Erik's reviews, because they do give you things that you may never come across. And there's been always, I have the same experience you guys have to some degree, right? Because I don't talk to them every week. I listen to their part of the show just like you guys do. So if it's a movie I've seen, I'm always excited to see, like, well, do they love it? Do they hate it? Do they feel the same way I did? Kind of get that surprise. And if it's a movie I didn't get to see that week, it's always interesting for me to check it out and go like, oh, does that sound like something I would like? Because, I mean, they definitely like some movies that aren't my cup of tea, and I can usually tell that. But this movie, when he described Santa Zeta, sounded like something I would really like to see. So first and foremost, if you didn't listen to Erik's review of Santa Zeta, he does not spoil it. He does give enough information for you to know you should check it out. Definitely listen to his review, because I think it's very solid. And there's an interview with the director too, which is also really, really cool. Although there are a fair amount of spoilers in that interview. I think most of them got cut out, but be a little bit wary going into that one until you've maybe seen the movie. Now, as of the time I'm recording this, I think it's still available, or it's just about to go away from Slamdance Film Festival online. But you may still be able to check it out. If you probably should, if you can, because it is a fantastic movie. It is in my top list for the year so far, and it probably will be there at the end of the year. I think it's a very exciting and very cool movie, and one of my favorite movies I've seen in a long time, of this sort of movie. It's just so cool. So cool. Once again, the basic setup is you've got, once again, I got to write down the names here. Zoe is our main character, and Zoe is played by NEKANE OTXOA. OTXOA, it's impossible for me to say. OTXOA. OTXOA. And this actor is a freaking powerhouse. She is so good in this movie. She has so much she has to carry, between like joy and vibrance and energy and just badassery all the way through. But she also is able to give us the emotion in the quieter moments and the seething pain and anger that is just fueling everything. Also, you have Maya, her sister, I'll just say her younger sister, played by Africa Giron. And then you also have a bunch of other characters, which I'm not going to list them all, but her parents are played in here really, really well. All the characters are played really well. There's like, of actual key characters, there's probably about 6 or 7. Once again, the basic concept is she is an influencer, YouTube like influencer who travels, and she'll go all over the world and, do her impression of, say, one of them's like South Korea, and she's just running around South Korea. And every time she goes to a new place, she has her 3 things to do when you're there, and she kind of gives herself these challenges, and usually one of the things in the challenge is kind of a daring, crazy thing. And one of them in LA is to let's go and make the coolest food on the coolest food truck in LA. That's going to be her little challenge. That's kind of her YouTube persona, things to get, clicks. Or in South Korea, it's like, hey, when I'm here, when you're here, I'm going to find the coolest thing I want, and I'm going to steal it and run with it, shoplift it. And she kind of, films that. And everything she's doing, she's filming with her little handheld gimbal camera. I think it might be the same kind that is Greg's Nemesis, but I haven't heard yet if that's true or not. And all these scenes are done really well. And if you listen to the interview with the director, he says he literally had the actor just film them herself. She was at these places filming them, and they look really good. They look really vibrant. They look like YouTube, kind of YouTube influencer kind of things. They just seem real. It's mostly because she's actually doing them. She has the kind of energy that can pull it off. And while she's doing these things, you find out that her real impulse is she's going to these places as a pretext to film these things. And then by night, she is hunting down PDF file. We have some YouTuber that actually says that instead of the word, because you're not supposed to say it on YouTube. They have certain things they'll cut. He calls it a PDF file. And if you know what a PDF file is, let's just say Epstein-like. She's hunting down those people, and she has specific people that she hunts down in each place. So it's a little bit like Kill Bill in an aspect, but just not as hyper stylized. And what it does, it's almost genius, is that you have these interstitials, these black and white interstitials with her and her little sister. And also, it's not a spoiler to say that her little sister is part of her, the impetus, let's just say, for her wanting to go out and get these guys. And each time they have an interstitial, say for a South Korean one, they have an interstitial, she has a dialogue with her little sister in this kind of dream world where you find out the past, what happened that created this horrible person that they're about to hunt down. So it does a really, really interesting thing. It humanizes them, but it doesn't forgive them. And that is a really tough thing to do in a movie like this, right? So it gives you some sort of tormented past for this person. Like, for example, it's this guy named, Ja Kim. That's the guy they're hunting down in South Korea. You find out the past of Ja Kim, and it's horrible. And you can understand, I understand why this person turned out to be this terrible predator. But at the same time, the movie says, but he is also doing these terrible things, and he does not deserve mercy because of that. You can understand it, but he will pay. And there's this really interesting balance in this movie of just kind of, like I said, this vibrant, just life-living experience that you have from our main Zoe character, but deeply underneath it, there is just this, like I said, a searing sadness and anger and just hunger to mete out justice to the world. And it is fantastic. This movie is so good. And that alone would be good, that kind of basic concept. But there is progression, and there's essentially three main areas. And the last is in Spain, which is her home land, her hometown. And the way the final reveals play out in this movie, I wouldn't say they're not twists as much, because when some of them start to happen, you see them, and they're not hiding them from you. But the way they play out is not something you're going to see exactly coming. And the emotional beats that start falling towards the final third of this movie are just so good, and they're so fantastic. And there's so many little elements here that are just absolutely masterful for such a small, unquote, small script, small independent production. A lot of this was run and gun. You'll hear them talking about that in the interview with Erik as well. I was really, really impressed by this movie throughout. This is a 5-star, bordering on a 5-star classic, which is my highest rating. I think it may be a 5-star classic. I love this movie. This is one of those movies you really wish you could just have everyone watch right now. So that's why you can get to it, watch it. Hopefully it'll come out soon, one way or another. It deserves a ton of respect. I think it's going to become a huge cult favorite, especially by the people that are into our kind of stuff. I think it's going to become a classic, absolutely a classic. There are some moments I want to talk about in the final chapter of this movie that are so good. There's stuff that keys into why she is a YouTuber and why she's doing what she's doing in a way that is like a tragedy, but such a great character moment. And it's something I don't think she even understood about herself that you get to discover, and then she discovers as well. It's amazing. This movie is, I cannot praise this enough. And I think that Erik is absolutely right about it. I wanted to do spoilers on this, but I don't want to do spoilers on this. No one can even really watch this now. I don't even want the chance of people being spoiled on this movie. Once again, like I said, there's not reveals in the sense that you couldn't enjoy this movie if you find them out. But I guess discovering the things as they go in the course of the movie is the way that it should be seen, I think. And it really, really will just give you that much more appreciation for the craft here and the fantastic independent filmmaking that's going on in this movie. I cannot praise enough. 5-star classic for Santa Zeta. Santa Zeta is something you should run out and watch now. If you have the ability, it may still be available now. If it's not, you need to put it on your watch list and wait for it to come out, because it is something you should see. Have I oversold it? Maybe. For some people, it won't work. But I think for a lot of people who are into like cool independent filmmaking, this is going to be a huge find this year. And I think it's going to end up on some lists, assuming it actually gets a release this year, which hopefully it does.